Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya, beauty for Acharya, save the whole world, Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 6, The Killing of the Demon Putana, Text 32. Nunam Bata Rishihi Sanjataha. Nunam Bata Rishi Sanjato Yoga Ishaha Va Samasa Saha Yogesho Va Samasa Saha Saha Eva Drishtaha Hi Utpataha Sa Eva Drishto Hi Utpato Yat Aha Anaka Dundubihi Yad Ahanaka Dundubihi Nunam Batarishi Sanjato Yogesho Va Samasa Saha Sa Eva Drishto Hi Utpato Yad Ahanaka Dundubihi Nunam Batarishi Sanjato Yogesho Va Samasa Saha Sa Eva Dishto Hi Utpato Yad Ahanaka Dundubihi. Nunam, certainly. Bata, O my friends. Rishihi, a great saintly person. Sanjataha, has become. Yoga Ishaha, a master of mystic power. Va, or Samasa, has become. Saha, he. Vasudeva. Saha, that. Eva, indeed. Drishtaha, has been seen by us. He, because. Utpataha, kind of disturbance. Yat, that which, aha, predicted. Anakadundubihi, Anakadundubhi, another name of Vasudeva. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhai Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai. Translation. Nanda Maharaj and the other Gopas exclaimed, "My dear friends, you must know that Anakadundubhi, Vasudeva, has become a great saint or a master of mystic power. Otherwise, how could he have foreseen this calamity and predicted it to us?" Can you repeat the translation? Nanda Maharaj and the other Gopas exclaimed, "My dear friends, you must know that Anakadundubi, Vasudeva, has become a great saint or a master of mystic power. Otherwise, how could he have foreseen this calamity and predicted it to us?" Purport. This verse illustrates the difference between Kshatriyas and innocent Vaishyas. By studying the political situation, Vasudeva could see what would happen, whereas Nanda Maharaj, the king of the agriculturists, could only guess that Vasudeva was a great saintly person and had developed mystic powers. Vasudeva actually had all mystic powers under his control. Otherwise, he could not have become the father of Krishna. But, in fact, he foresaw the calamities in Vraja by studying Kamsa's political activities and thus warned Nanda Maharaj to take precautions. Although Nanda Maharaj thought that Vasudeva had predicted this incident through wonderful mystic powers. By mystic powers gained through the practice of Hatha Yoga, one can study and understand the future. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport and translation to Canto 10, Chapter 6, text number 32 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. As Nanda Maharaj and the other Gopas were returning to Gokula, Vrindavana from Mathura after paying their taxes to King Kamsa, just at the outskirts of Gokula, in the neighboring agricultural field, they could see a gigantic body of a demoness, and that was of Putanas, lying dead on the field. And that body was about 12 miles long. So that's why here Shukadeva Goswami uses the word exclaimed. Nanda Maharaj and the other Gopas exclaimed. What was that exclaim? It goes like this. Bata, referring to, oh my dear friends, Nanda Maharaj is addressing, oh my dear friends, Bata, Nunam Anaka Dundubihi. You must know with certainty that Anaka Dundubihi, another name of Vasudeva. So Anaka Dundubi, Nunam Anaka Dundubi, you must know that Vasudeva, Rishihi Sanjataha, has become a great saint. Or Yoga Isha va Samasa Saha, or he has become the master of all mystic powers. Suddenly why Nanda Maharaj is describing Vasudeva in this manner? Because he is justifying according to him. Sa eva drishta hi utpataha. How is it that drishta hi utpataha, he could foresee the calamity in Gokula? Yad aha, and foreseeing this calamity, he predicted that to us well in advance when we were leaving Mathura. In fact, Vasudeva cautioned us, please leave fast, please leave quickly and go back to your hometown. There may be some danger. Like that, Vasudeva actually cautioned Nanda Maharaj when they both met in Mathura. Therefore he is saying, Eva drishta hi utpata yadaha. How could he foresee this calamity and predicted that to us? Therefore surely Rishi Sanjata Yoga Isha va Samasa Saha, he must be a great saintly person, or he must be the master of all mystic powers. Because generally we see very advanced saintly persons, they are Trikalagya. Like Vyasadeva is said to be Trikalagya. Rishi means one who can see the past, present and future in everything and in everyone. So like that, how is it that Nanda Maharaj knew? He must be a great Rishi, great saintly person. The saintly persons can see through things. There is no limitation of space and time for an advanced saintly person or a self-realized soul or a devotee, pure devotee of the Lord. Nothing covers his intelligence. His intelligence is never bewildered. His intelligence doesn't come under the influence of the three modes of nature. It is always shining forth. His consciousness is always bright, and apart from his consciousness being bright, he could see through everything, whether you describe it or not, whether you tell or not, he can see through everything. That's the position of a pure devotee of Krishna. Krishna willing, he can know everything because he is the external manifestation of Paramatma. Paramatma is the Lord in the heart, and the Lord outside the heart is the bona fide spiritual master. So as Paramatma knows what you are thinking, what you are planning, the Lord knows. You may tell somebody, you may not tell somebody, but the Lord knows. Lord smells everything. This is one of the functions of Paramatma in the heart, the Lord in the heart. Similarly, the spiritual master can also know everything, or a pure devotee of the Lord, or a very advanced saintly person can actually understand everything going on in your mind without extraneously working on Hatha Yoga with great labor and endeavor to acquire that mystic power of reading somebody's mind. Because if you practice Hatha Yoga in a particular way, with a particular purpose, then you can even read other people's mind. You could know what other people are thinking after great endeavor. But for the pure devotee of the Lord or a very advanced saintly person, he doesn't have to take so much trouble. he can easily read, understand, know what is the move, what is the plan of the other person. But anyway, Prabhupada explains Vasudeva's position in two interesting ways. One is that Nanda Maharaj actually believed that Vasudeva had some mystical powers to know that there is a calamity in Vrindavan, in Gokula, and there may be some trouble. I should reach fast. And that came out to be true, because when Nanda Maharaj was not in the town, in the village of Gokula, this Putana demoness came and was about to take away Krishna's life by feeding him her breast smeared with poison. She tried to feed baby Krishna with her milk. And when Krishna drinks, he will drink the milk and the poison and he will die. But on the other hand, Putana was dead instead of Krishna dying. Krishna was saved. So, therefore, Nanda Maharaj was thinking, oh, how could Vasudeva know? He must be a saintly person. But actually, Prabhupada says, this is the difference between the Kshatriya and the Vaishya. Kshatriyas are very strategic, very thoughtful, very calculative. They can understand the political situation in the kingdom. They can read the person's mind, the opponent's mind. They can foresee what would be their next plan and accordingly take steps. Kshatriyas are very sharp, very intelligent, politically, managerially. You can't be a Kshatriya if you are not intelligent. But Nanda Maharaj was a simple Vaishya. Does not demand such intelligence and strategy and thinking and calculations, calculated moves. None of these things. So you can see that from these words of Nanda Maharaj. He is simple cowherd man. An agriculturist. He could only guess that Vasudeva was a saintly person, or that he had developed some mystic powers. This is one part of the understanding. But Prabhupada also says, Vasudeva actually had mystic powers. Otherwise, how he can become the father of Krishna, who is the owner and master of all the mystic powers? And therefore, the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita ends by the declaration of Sanjaya about Krishna as Yogeshwara. Krishna is Yoga Ishvara, the master of all mystic powers, the owner of all mystic powers, the controller of all mystic powers, the director of all mystic powers, the regulator of all mystic powers. He decides. He controls. He manipulates. So if somebody is having mystic power, it is derived from Krishna only. It is not his independent, not independently earned or created or produced. No. Krishna owns all the mystic powers naturally. He is Bhagavan. One of the reasons of he being Bhagavan is this. One of the reasons. Not all the reason. So God has all natural mystic powers and he bestows that upon some particular individual if he desires so much. In Hatha Yoga practice, which is part of Ashtanga Yoga, so the actual purpose of Hatha Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga is actually Samadhi. Dhyana leading to Samadhi. The actual purpose of Ashtanga Yoga, which is the 8th stage of perfection in Ashtanga Yoga, which is Samadhi or complete absorption on the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. Supreme Lord Vishnu. When one perfects its dhyana, which is the seventh stage in Ashtanga Yoga, perfects its meditation on Vishnu or the Lord in the heart, then he acquires all mystic powers. Because when he identifies himself with the Supreme Lord, a matching happens. Sync happens. Sync takes place. So when you merge with the consciousness of the Supreme Lord, then what is of the Supreme Lord also becomes yours. So this is the technique of Ashtanga Yoga. But this is not the goal of Ashtanga Yoga. Because the Lord has all the mystic powers, now you have synced with Him, you also get all the mystic powers. Because both have synced. But the actual idea of syncing with the Lord is to become completely absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord, to become transcendental to all material activities and material consciousness, to become transcendental to all material qualities, material gunas. But sometimes less advanced or immature yogis, hatha yogis or ashtanga yogis, who are not actually mature in yoga practice, they fall trapped to yoga siddhis. So that is actually a test for the yogi, whether he is very serious about Vishnu or he gets carried away by this childish mystic powers or childish display of mystic powers. Whether he gets attracted. If he's attracted, finished. He loses Vishnu. Vishnu is out of sight then. The mystic power is simply childish. A display of childish activity. That's all. It is not the purpose of yoga. Yoga is a very serious business to attain the supreme of everything, which is Lord Vishnu, who is unattainable in many millions of lives, even by great rishis, tapasvis, big devatas, including Brahma. He is unattainable. Unattainable. Atapi te deva padambujadvaya prasada leshanu grihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimna nachanyam ekopi chiram vichinman. Is a beautiful prayer in Bhagavatam. The essence of this verse says that unless the Lord graces upon someone, he cannot be understood by anyone. Therefore the devotee is praying, my Lord, I offer my humble obeisances onto your two lotus feet. Pada ambuja dvaya, two lotus feet. I offer my humble obeisances to your lotus feet. Kindly shower your grace upon me. Shower your mercy upon me. Let me have a glimpse of your personality. Let me have some little understanding about your personality. Please shower me even a trace of your mercy. Lesha anugrihita evahi. Lesha means fine traces. Very little. Lesha. Lesha matra. Prasada lesha eva anugrihita hi. Please give me little mercy. That is more than enough. So is the prayer by the devotee. So therefore, it is not easy to attain the Lord. So a lot of distractions will be there before you actually attain the lotus feet of Vishnu. People in this material world, they are attracted by so many material, small material attractions. Small cars, small buildings, some nice apparels. They are trapped by these things only. Forget yoga siddhis and all. They are bigger traps. They are bigger traps. We get bewildered by seeing some building. You go to foreign country, you see huge high-rise buildings, lightings. You get bewildered. Seeing Panchaputa. Display of Panchabhuta. Big deal. You go to America, you go to Dubai. Very bewildering. The kind of buildings, the kind of roads, the kind of systems, the kind of opulence. They show the kind of cars. Quite bewildering for a common man. At the night, the kind of lightings. Dazzling. Simply manipulation of Panchabhuta. That's all. So if one is attracted by the inferior energy of the Lord, he has no possibility of being attracted by the superior energy of the Lord. Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti. Krishna describes this in the Bhagavad Gita. When we are attracted by the Apara Prakriti, inferior creation of God, what hope you have to be attracted by the superior creation of God? But you can be attracted by the inferior creation of God, recognizing the glorious creation of God in this world. Seeing the hands of Krishna in this creation, then you are perfectly situated. If you minus Krishna from the entire vision, then you are in Maya. You are in Maya. If you see the creation minus the creator, you are in Maya. But if you can see the creation clearly by the hands of Krishna, then you are in full Krishna consciousness. You will not get bewildered. But if you forget Krishna in the picture, you will get thoroughly bewildered and get carried away. So this is a test for the yogis. Most yogis fail the test. Meaning, they become attracted by mystic powers. That means they fail the test of yoga. You may get mystic power, but you will not get Yogeshwara, the owner and proprietor of the mystic power. So who is intelligent? Suppose if you get little gold versus a gold mine, what will you choose? You will choose the gold mine, and the proprietor of the gold mine, suppose the king. You strike one relationship with the king. That is intelligence, not these peanuts. I think one place Prabhupada told this nice story, instance, not story, that suppose you happen to meet a monarch. But today monarch is not there. You can even say, suppose you happen to meet a big business magnate or a rich man, super rich, ultra rich. Ultra rich. We say ultra HNI. No? Lower class, middle class, upper middle class, rich class. Then we say HNIs, high net worth individuals. Then the ultra HNIs, means filthy rich. Like Ambani's, Elon Musk, they'll come under ultra HNI category. Suppose you happen to meet. What will you ask? And suppose he's charitably disposed. Very broad-minded. Very charitable. What will you ask? That time Prabhupada used to say, suppose a poor man, a needy man meets a king. What will you ask him? He will ask, sir, can you give me some food, some arrangement for some food? Little money, my daughter's marriage has to be performed. If you can kindly perform my daughter's marriage. And the king says, yes, yes. Immediately he'll sanction. So this poor man becomes so satisfied, so happy, so glad. There'll be a bright smile in his face. After all, one small daughter's marriage, and he's a king, he's a monarch. What is his capacity? Daughter's marriage sends when it's a small expense. Few lakh rupees, that's all. So, Prabhupada says intelligence means, if the king says, what do you want? To the needy man who has come to his court, then this man should say, my Lord, I want half your kingdom. If you have to ask like that, not some peanuts. Give me some 1,000 rupee. Peanuts. So it requires intelligence to ask. It requires intelligence to even ask. So that means people are not even intelligent to know what is God's position. That we ask silly things from God. Even yogis are immature, seeking mystic power from Krishna. It's like asking some few paisa from a monarch. What a foolish ask. Mystic powers are very insignificant in comparison to attaining Krishna himself in one's life. Therefore, throughout the Bhagavatam, if you see, in Bhagavad Gita, the devotees, Shukadeva Goswami's primary focus is on how to attain Krishna. How to attain Krishna. Not these silly, childish, mystic powers. Mystic power means magical powers. And they are not eternal. They are temporary. And they are material. Mystic powers are nothing spiritual. It's a very important point. Many people confuse some yogis or some magicians do some magic. They confuse them to be spiritual. Prabhupada very clearly explains, mystic powers are not spiritual, they are material. And the effect is temporary, not permanent. But mystic powers attained by the pure devotees of the Lord are spiritual and eternal. That distinction is there. If Krishna bestows somebody, this is described in Bhagavatam, if Krishna bestows mystic power directly, that is spiritual and eternal. But if you acquire mystic power through your yoga practice, it is material. It is temporary. One more place Prabhupada very nicely explained, very interesting, very intelligent explanation. A devotee is very intelligent. Last time I explained that Krishna yai bhaje se bada chatur. Prabhupada quotes this phrase, Krishna yai bhaje se bada chatur. One who is a devotee of God or Krishna is naturally very intelligent. He cannot be fooled. If you are actually a devotee, you cannot be fooled by anyone or by anything. Let alone these mystic powers. He cannot be swayed or diverted from the focus of attaining Krishna. So, Prabhupada said, why should the devotee bother to acquire mystic power? A headache it is. So much he has to do to acquire mystic power, he does not bother at all. His only botheration is to satisfy Krishna. He takes botheration only to satisfy Krishna, but not to acquire mystic powers. For the pure devotee, it is very insignificant and the least important. So Prabhupada said very nicely, just an example. Suppose your father is a rich man. Why should you earn money? You ask your father, father will give you, finished. Simple, right? Suppose your father is Elon Musk. Just think. At least you can dream, no? At least you can think, no? You may not be, you can just feel at least, feel good about it, right? My father is Elon Musk. So I want Formula 1 car also. Son, just go and choose how many you want, what you want, which variety you want. Wow, Formula 1 car? How many? I was thinking even one in a lifetime. How many you are asking? Yeah, because he is the son of the richest man in the world. For him, what difference may Formula 1 cars? Nothing. Whole factory you can purchase off. This the son has to tell. Son, what do you want? I want all these cars. Don't worry. Better purchase of the entire factory only, finished. Still nothing for him. Why should he earn money? It's a foolish endeavor. Is it not? Similarly, The devotee of the Lord, why should he bother about acquiring mystic power? Krishna is the owner of all the powers. If he wants, he will ask Krishna, Krishna, give me this. Krishna will say, take. Because Krishna loves his devotees. Krishna is famous as Bhakta Vatsala. Oh, you want it? Take it. How much you want? What you want? When you want? How you want? All arrangements done. So all mystic powers actually serve the pure devotee of the Lord. For his service to his Lord. If he desires, if he wants, if at all he wants, they're at his service anytime. So he doesn't endeavor much. So Vasudeva here, Prabhupada explains, actually had all mystic powers under his control. See, mystic power not just possessing, mystic power under his control. Can you imagine? Regulatory body. Otherwise, how could he have become the father of Krishna? See, devotees are simple in their demeanor. But you don't think that they are naive and simple. Last time I explained this. They are simple because of their simple-minded nature. That is the nature of a devotee. But that does not mean you minimize his position. Then you are on the wrong step, wrong side. Of course, another bet again Prabhupada says, but still Nanda Maharaj thought Vasudeva had predicted this incident through wonderful mystic power. The fact of the matter is, Vasudeva was a Kshatriya, so he is very intelligent politically. So he could know the political moves of Kamsa. And he studied Kamsa's political moves. He studied. And therefore he predicted there could be some danger. What was that political moves of Kamsa? Because already there was a Shariravani that he is going to be killed. Kamsa was going to be killed by the 8th son of Devaki. So 7 children have made their appearance, one after the other. And the 8th son was born, but it happened to be a daughter. Kamsa still had his own doubts. How can Providence tell lies? Something is not okay. Something is fishy. Yet he could not believe. And that 8th child also escaped from his hand and went up in the sky and disappeared. And then only an unseen voice he could hear predicting that, you rascal Kamsa, why are you torturing your sister like this? At the time of her marriage, she is such a devoted woman, a devoted lady, very innocent, who needs your protection and care. And those whom you are supposed to care for, you are trying to drag her with her hair and chastise her. What kind of atrocities you are doing? Wait for your time, you rascal. The 8th son of Devaki is going to kill you. Immediately got scared and then he released Vasudeva and Devaki. Out of fear, not out of saintliness or compassionate grounds. Out of fear. See? Demonic persons are highly calculative. You can't get carried away by their compassion and kindness. Behind the compassion and kindness, there is very deadly, violent, demoniac planning behind the kindness and compassion which they represent. Anyway, so Vasudeva knew Kamsa is waiting for, because although what Kamsa saw, the 8th child of Devaki was a daughter, but Vasudeva knows, actually I gave birth to a son and I exchanged it with the daughter of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj and brought it, and nobody knows. Everybody was sleeping. And he was also very sure Kamsa also does not know. And even Nanda Maharaj's side and Yashoda's side, nobody also knows, so that the rumor does not spread around. So therefore, Vasudeva always had an anxiety about the protection and safetyness of his baby Krishna in Vrindavana. And when he got to know that Kamsa had planned to send demons to Gokula, so Vasudeva's anxiety increased. And therefore he cautioned Nanda Maharaj. See, so much of analysis he has done, very sharp. Nanda Maharaj also is equally sharp. But Bhagavan is presenting Nanda Maharaj's another aspect of simplicityness. Because that is the role, patra given by Yogamaya to Nanda Maharaj. But the whole thing is a drama of mastermind plan of Krishna. Yogamaya has given different roles. Yogamaya gives roles to Krishna also. Krishna, you act like this, okay? You better act like this. Yogamaya is Krishna's script writer only. But Krishna obliges to Yogamaya's script. Nanda Maharaj also, following the script of Yogamaya, is displaying innocence and simply saying, oh, he must have some mystic power. Of course, as far as the Leela is concerned, it is not that he has mystic power, but he understood the political situation of Kamsa. Because Kamsa is a king, Vasudeva also is a king. A king can understand the king's move. A scientist can understand a scientist's thought process. A common man cannot be expected to understand neither a scientist's move or a thought process or a king's move and diplomatic move. Cannot understand. But Vasudeva could understand because he was also a king. That's the fact of the matter. But the actual fact is that Vasudeva did possess all mystic power also. So both are true. So in one sense, Nanda Maharaj is true also. So Prabhupada says that by mystic power is gained through the practice of Hatha Yoga, one can study and understand the future. So I was trying to say how a pure devotee of the Lord can naturally possess all mystic powers. Sometime back we discussed there are about 8 primary mystic powers and 10 secondary mystic powers and 4 miscellaneous or auxiliary mystic powers as described in the Bhagavatam. Some things about Prabhupada, let us hear some very interesting things about Prabhupada. Mr. Nanda Maharaj is thinking, oh, he must be a great saintly person, he must have great predictive powers he has got. Actually, that is true also. Vasudeva did have predictive powers. All pure devotees have. You can see in Prabhupada's life also many such mystical things, miraculous things. Prabhupada did possess little here, there, Prabhupada showed, displayed. Again, not consciously, very subtly. Not consciously. Just like there was one instance of Prabhupada's extrasensory perception. One time in Florida, when Prabhupada was driven in a vehicle back to the ISKCON temple in Florida. They had gone for a program and Prabhupada and some of his disciples were in the car and one more disciple of Prabhupada was driving the car. So then as the car was being driven, in front of Prabhupada's car was a big truck carrying oranges. Big truck carrying oranges. So then just out of the blue, Prabhupada said, oh, watermelons. Like that Prabhupada said. Then there was one devotee by name Hridayananda Prabhu. So he said, Prabhupada, no, these are oranges. So obvious. Full oranges are all stacked up. Prabhupada said, no watermelons. But Hridayanda Maharaj is seeing with his eyes, oranges are stacked up there. How can Prabhupada say that? Then anyway, so as the truck was moving and Prabhupada's vehicle, his car was also moving, at a certain point, the truck became little slow and Prabhupada's car overtook this truck. And as Prabhupada's car was overtaking this truck, Hridayanda Maharaj was shocked to see, oh, watermelons! Because in the back of the truck was oranges. Just behind that was actually watermelons. So there was also half truck filled with watermelons, half truck filled with oranges. So and it was all higher, oranges were below and watermelons were below and back of the oranges. And Prabhupada sitting back of the car, he could see that. So he was shocked. Prabhupada, it is watermelons. Prabhupada smiled, yes, I told it is watermelons. Like that, he was surprised. There is one more instance of Prabhupada's extrasensory perception. This was in Bhaktivedanta Manor. It's a very big temple. So Bhaktivedanta Manor, very nice temple, ISKCON temple is there. So there, Prabhupada was staying in first floor. He had his room, his quarters, and suddenly he called his assistant and he told him, there is some water leak, please go and set right that. Then the devotees searched all around in his quarters whether any tap is leaking, any faucet, some leak is there. Then they went and saw nothing. Then they came and told Prabhupada, no, Prabhupada, everything is fine. No, I'm hearing the sound of the water trickling, drop by drop. I'm hearing the sound. You please set it right. Then the devotees went all around the temple. They went to the ground floor, to the halls, to the kitchen. They saw all the taps are closed. There is no water leak, nothing. Again they went to told Prabhupada, no, Prabhupada, everything is fine. All the taps are fine, faucets are fine. No, water is leaking. Please set it right. Then this devotee, he went to the temple hall, then went down the staircase. There was another small hall there, and went to that hall, and there was one closet. In that closet, it's like, see, Prabhupada is the first floor, and here the temple hall, the ground floor, and below that hall there's a staircase, probably Prasadamal, I don't know. So then there's a staircase going down to the basement. There is one closet which is locked and closed and nobody is going there. There one tap was there which was leaking. And they were shocked. Nobody goes to this room only. Hardly the water is trickling. How could Prabhupada hear? This is a small thing for Prabhupada. The devotee was surprised. How did Prabhupada knew that this tap is leaking? Nobody is going there only. There's another time when Prabhupada had two disciples whom he liked very much. Of course, Prabhupada liked all the disciples. But this is the way we portray the story. Prabhupada liked two devotees, Gargamuni Prabhu and Brahmananda Prabhu. So, they both are brothers. So, Gargamuni, he was narrating this memory of Prabhupada that he was describing about Brahmananda Prabhu. He said, Prabhupada made Brahmananda the president of a certain temple, certain center. So why did he make this devotee the president of the temple? What did he see in this devotee? So Prabhupada could sense the leadership quality in him even without meeting him, even without seeing Brahmananda. Instantly he knew he is a leader. So Gargamuni was wondering, because we are all analytical devotees, no? We can't keep quiet. So we keep thinking, How could Prabhupada do that? How could Prabhupada do that? So Gargamuni was very surprised when he understood how Prabhupada decided. Actually, Brahmananda all his life had been a leader. In his childhood, he was the captain of his class. He was the captain of football team. He was the captain of a wrestling team. Then he himself formed one club called Playmakers, all garments. And he was so influential that all the students in the school used to wear those Playmaker t-shirts and the jackets and then come to the school. Because he was so influential. If he says something, everybody will follow. And even though he would be younger, still the school management will decide him to be the leader. Because he had such leadership qualities and traits and all these things. So he became the president of the Playmakers Club also. He became the president of the city council, student council. He was the leader of the student council. All the while in his life he had been a student leader. Then later on, when he grew up also he had been a leader. But Prabhupada knew none of these things. Straight Prabhupada picked him up, he said, you are the president of this temple. You see? So these things are all very ordinary for a pure devotee. Then Prabhupada made Gargamuni the treasurer of the temple. Because Gargamuni was interested a lot in business and is expert in business management and finance. But Prabhupada does not know that. Right from his childhood, Gargamuni was a great businessman. A lot of business traits he had. Again was surprised, how could Prabhupada detect that I could do this treasury work for the temple? From 10 years only he started business. From his school days only he started business. And he used to sell some cherry bombs. Cherry bombs is like a small firecracker. And he was a small boy that time. So he used to sell the cherry bombs and the students used to buy and people also used to buy. And then there used to be some mail boxes. Earlier that post boxes used to be there. No? Today all that system is almost obsolete. But there used to be mail boxes. So kids and other people used to buy the cherry bombs and put it in the mailbox, but it will blast. So I have some fun. So then it went to the police and the police came and then they saw, oh, who's this guy blasting everything? They saw, oh, it's a small kid, oh my God, it's a fun. So they just let him go. Because it was just a childish act. So the point here is, Gargamuni Prabhu recollects that even from my childhood, I used to be a businessman, business traits, business thoughts. When he was younger than even 10 years old, much younger, whatever business papers his father used to get, he used to read that, do something, process that. Prabhupada knew that, made him the treasurer. So like that, so many things. And the last, but not the least, very interesting pastime. Once Prabhupada and some of the disciples, they were traveling to Visakhapatnam in a train. So they were supposed to travel in a train. They came to the railway station. The train had already landed, about to board. Some time was there. So the devotees had been doing kirtan and coming to the railway station. And it was a summer afternoon. And it's quite hot. So there was one devotee by name Shama Sundar. He asked Prabhupada, can I get some tender coconut, Prabhupada? You must be feeling very, thirsty. Prabhupada said, oh, why not? So then there was a nearby tree in the railway station, one coconut tree. Tuck, 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 he climbed to the coconut tree. Devotees were all like super... active in all these things. So he climbed the coconut tree and got one tender coconut. Mind it, only one tender coconut, he got it, came down, and then he removed the top of the tender coconut and gave Prabhupada to drink, and Prabhupada was just drinking the tender coconut nicely. And he said, oh, very nice. Very refreshing. But there were many Kirtan devotees also. So Prabhupada said, first he gave to Shyamasundar himself, who actually climbed up and did the labor of getting the tender coconut from the tree. He said, you also drink, and he also drank the tender coconut. It's quite thirsty. And Prabhupada said, you can pass on to other singers also. And this Shyamasundar who kept drinking, is almost over. And he get to the past and the tender coconut to the next devotee. He is also drinking because they're all very thirsty. And that too, Kirtan singing also causes little more thirst. So he is drinking, and like that he passed on to another devotee. Seems like the tender coconut water is endless in the tender coconut. From one tender coconut, 6-7 devotees drank, and still tender coconut water is there. Finally, Shyamasundar took the tender coconut after all the devotees finished one round, and he just reversed it upside down, and still the water is dripping down. And some water fell all on his shirt and all. Then he looked at Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, what is this? Prabhupada just smiled. This is Prabhupada's miracle actually. How can one tender coconut feed 7-8 people? And still the water seems to be not emptying from the small tender coconut. So it's all very, small fun Prabhupada used to display. So like this for a pure devotee, these things are very, But the pure devotees can use all these mystic powers for some entertainment also. It's good entertainment. But the most important mystic power which a pure devotee has got is he can actually stop our cycle of birth and death. That is the most powerful mystic power which a pure devotee has got. No yogi can stop your birth and death. He himself has to undergo birth and death. Unless he perfects the yoga process by coming to the point of samadhi or complete absorption in Krishna. Otherwise, nobody can escape the cycle of birth and death. That's the greatest contribution of a pure devotee to the human society. Not simply some healing somebody's sickness. Sickness you may heal, but what about death? What about death? Can you heal the soul from death? Can you heal the soul, save the soul from rebirth into another species? Not sure which body, maybe human body or maybe an animal body. Can you save the jiva from taking birth in an animal body? Can you give guarantee? No such guarantee. But a pure devotee can assure, can give all guarantee to take you back to Godhead. So that is the greatest mystic power of a pure devotee. So therefore, we should not be carried away by these mystic powers and all these things. We should be carried away by the devotion to Krishna. By devotion to Krishna. Devotional service to Krishna. Krishna himself, you'll be surprised after explaining Uddhava about all these mystic powers. He says, these things don't attract me as much as devotional service. You should read that portion in Bhagavatam. Krishna himself, who is describing mystic power and also the process how to acquire each of that mystic power. Krishna explains in detail. I don't have time to go into the detail. How to acquire each mystic power, Krishna describes the procedure. After describing all of that, Krishna says, these things don't attract me. Only devotional service attracts me. And therefore, one who takes up devotional service also is attractive to me. Not mystic powers, not the yogi. Therefore, the devotee is attractive to Krishna, not a yogi. A devotee can attract Krishna's attention. A yogi cannot attract Krishna's attention. This also we should note from the pages of Bhagavatam. Therefore, we should be interested in earning pure devotional service. And not these childish mystic powers and get carried away. Stop it. Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Devotees can submit their Vyasa Puja homages to Srila Prabhupada by 25th June this month for inclusion in the Vyasa Puja book. So interested devotees can contact the temple devotees for assistance. So Vyasa Puja homage is nothing but expressing your gratitude to the spiritual master for having saved your life, for having brought you into Krishna consciousness, for having given you the shelter of Krishna. So we owe the spiritual master. So that is the homage. That's what you should write. How you are being saved, how you feel grateful to Prabhupada for introducing Krishna to you in your life, and for giving the prize and the gift of Krishna to you in your life. So naturally you will have gratitude. That's what you express in the form of homage. And also you can, that is one aspect where you express your gratitude, your thanks for being saved, for being blessed, for being revealed, for receiving the gift of Krishna in your life, number one. Number two, you can even glorify Guru Tattva, the position of a pure devotee. What Guru Tattva is, just like we say, Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastrai, pure devotee is as good as God. He is worshipable on par with God, but he's not God, but worshipable like the Lord. This is Guru Tattva. He is the direct representative of God, Bhagavan, not an ordinary person. He is not an Indian or an American or a Hindu. He is transcendental. He is God's man from Vaikuntha. He is God's man. This is Guru Tattva. And also your realization, transformation, how your life transformed by coming in touch with Krishna, by touch with Prabhupada and ISKCON. You can write about that aspect. You can also glorify Prabhupada and his qualities. Like few things I glorify today. You can glorify if you have studied Prabhupada's books or Prabhupada's dealings with devotees. You can even glorify those aspects and seek Acharya's blessings and beg pardon for all the offenses and aspire for progressing spiritually. This is what the essence of the Vyasa Puja homage is all about. So you can write it in 2-3 paragraphs and submit it. You can meet the devotees for more information. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.